Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. As we start our meeting, I want to call this council meeting of October 25th, 2017 to order. As we begin our moment of silence, I had something I was planning on using, but Alderman Mattson came up and mentioned that he had to leave. His father is in critical condition, and so with that, I think that trumps anything else we have to say. So with that, let's reach out our thoughts and prayers to the Mattson family, to Mike, and also to any of other siblings and his family in this time of challenge. So with that, a moment of silence, please. Thank you very much. Alderman Gordon, would you lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance? Okay. Jackie, would you please call the roll?
Ambrose.
Here.
Mattson. Dickman.
Here.
Grip.
Here.
Gordon.
Here.
Meeker.
Here.
Rawson.
Here.
McGinnis.
Here.
Tompkins.
Here.
Dunn.
Here.
9 present, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Also, I want to wish you all a good evening again. And as we begin our meeting of the City Council, I would want to not only welcome those in attendance and also those who are viewing the meeting on television or on the internet. We respectfully welcome your comments and opinions, and please keep in mind that as you talk to the Council, you're also sharing your thoughts with fellow Davenporters and with viewers throughout the region by way of our TV broadcast. We're happy that you're here and participating in your city government, and ask that your participation reflect our common desire that we all share to make Davenport an even greater place for all of our citizens. For the children, adults, seniors, and families in our community, those in attendance and those watching at home, I want to thank you again for joining us. At this time, we ask that you turn off or silence your cell phones and other electronic handheld devices, as they can be disruptive and interfere with the audio system here in the chambers. We ask that if you want to address the council, when you do so, you will be asked to identify yourself and your ward and speak to the council as a whole and not to as a body and not to any single member. You will have an opportunity to speak to the council during the public with business portion towards the end. We ask that you limit your remarks to no more than 5 minutes, and I ask that everyone will observe the commonly accepted rules of courtesy, decorum, dignity, and good taste. First of all, will an alderman move the approval of the council meeting of October the 11th, please? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you very much. Is there a city administrator update this evening?
Nothing this evening, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. First of all, will an alderman approve the report of the Committee of the Whole of October 18th? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Great. We have 2 proclamations this evening. Our first is in from the cold, and Alderman Gordon is going to read and present that proclamation.
Thank you, Your Honor. The proclamation reads as follows. Whereas in the early 1990s, a group of citizens concerned with the growing number of homeless persons and the lack of services in place to meet their needs met to share ideas and formed the group called In From the Cold. And whereas the group decided its sole purpose of existence would be to raise funds for homeless service providers so that no person will have to live on the street, in an abandoned car or building, or in an unsafe location. And whereas In From the Cold has worked to strengthen community awareness of the homelessness and to provide financial support to members of the Quad Cities Shelter and Transitional Housing Council in their efforts to provide service to those in need. And whereas in 1993, In From the Cold began the Mayor's Hunger Luncheon as a major fundraising event for the group to be held on a weekday in November, offering a simple meal of bread and soup, asking that all who attend on that day eat simply so that others can simply eat. And whereas all the area mayors have graciously participated by hosting this event and by serving the meals, and whereas in 1994, Phil Collins solicited donations at his concert for In From the Cold. In addition to the $5,000 raised at the concert, Phil Collins contributed an additional $5,000. And whereas since 1992, In From the Cold has raised more than $330,000 for the homeless in the Quad Cities. And whereas the group is celebrating 25 years of helping others find a warm and safe place to lay their heads each night, now therefore we, Mayor Frank Klipsch, and the Davenport City Council do hereby proclaim November 1st, 2017 as In From the Cold Day in the city of Davenport, and urge all citizens to recognize the importance of supporting our local residents in need of food security and warm and safe places to live. Dated this day, October 25th, 2017, and I move the proclamation.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Alderman Gordon, would you go out and present this? And it's, I think, Patricia Bird is going to be here to receive it this evening. Great. If you want to come on up. That event is next Wednesday, and so we'd all invite all of you to come for that evening as well, if you could. We'll go to the podium there.
Okay, thank you. As it was mentioned, In From the Cold was created with one goal in mind, to raise money to serve the homeless of the Quad Cities. Since its creation in 1991, we have raised and dispersed more than $300,000 to homeless shelters, transitional housing programs, and other agencies that serve the homeless in both Iowa and Illinois. Our major fundraiser, the Mayor's Hunger Luncheon, is just around the corner. Join us at the Golden Leaf Banquet Center on East Kimberly Road on November 1st to enjoy a lunch of soup and bread served to us by our local mayors. Tickets are $35, and 100% of the money raised will go to homeless services. You can register on Facebook or infromthecoldqc.org, or you can fill out the applications that I'll leave here. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. And thank you for that continued hard work, and we'll hopefully see many of you next week. Our second proclamation this evening is National Adoption Day, and Alderman Tompkins will present the proclamation and present it to Tori Smith in just a moment.
Thank you. The City of Davenport, Iowa recognizes the importance of giving children permanent, safe, and loving families through adoption. And whereas more than 110,000 children in the United States foster care system are waiting to be adopted, and whereas more than 100 children in Iowa are waiting for permanent families, and whereas to help these children find permanent, nurturing families, the local courts of Scott County will open their doors for the National Adoption Day, Saturday, November 4th. 2017, to finalize the adoptions of local children and join other organizations to celebrate all adoptions. And whereas this effort, along with similar celebrations in all 50 states, the District of Columbia, Guam, and Puerto Rico will offer children the chance to live with stable and loving families and encourage other dedicated individuals to make a powerful difference in the lives of a child through adoption. Now, therefore, we, Frank Klipsch, Mayor, and the City Council of Davenport, Iowa, by virtue of the authority vested in us, do hereby proclaim November 4th, 2017 as National Adoption Day in the City of Davenport, and in so doing, urge all citizens to join in a national effort to raise awareness about the importance of adoption. Dated this day, this 25th day of October 2017. I move the proclamation.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. And Alderman Tompkins, if you'd present the proclamation. I think Tori Smith is here. And Tori, if you want to come on up. Some of our smallest constituents will be here as well.
I'm not Tori Smith.
This is Gloria Powers, and she's with the Iowa Department of Human Services. So I will.
Why don't you come out to the middle? There you go.
I didn't want to push somebody along here.
I think you needed to. Emma, come here. Come on.
Maybe want to turn around first. We'll get a picture back there first. And then
Here, I'll hold this while you go. There you go. Thank you.
Thank you. As Alderwoman Tompkins said, you're down. I'm Gloria Power, and I'm with the Human Services. On any given day, we have over 100 children in Iowa waiting for adoption. And you can be the missing link by contacting Four Oaks Family Connections, or you can also contact the Department of Human Services here in Davenport. And we hope everyone will come out on November 4th to celebrate adoptions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for the great work you do. And thank you for the little one who helped really sell the point, too. That was great. I appreciate that. We also have two presentations this evening. First of all, Dennis Bohm is going to come up and give us a presentation from the Quad City Pickleball Club.
Thanks, Mayor Clips. I'm Dennis Bamey. I'm the second ward. I represent the Quad City Pickleball Club and its 400 members. We have a couple here. As you've known from past things, we probably could have brought in 200, but I didn't think you wanted that. I've given a packet to the city clerk that has 5 pages of signatures thanking you for what you've done for pickleball. It's just, it's a great activity. Our purpose tonight is just to thank you for your support of the Northwest Park pickleball courts. We started meetings over 3 years ago, and everything's just gone fine. Davenport Parks and Recreation, Scott Hoke, Betsy Tubbs, and the department staff have all been really helpful. The courts were opened on June 16, 2016, when our mayor and the chief of police, I believe, had a little match with somebody, and I won't reveal or remember who won that.
Well, I'll tell you in just a moment.
Who won that, Mayor?
Actually, it was Alderman Mattson and I took on our chief financial officer and director of finance and the police chief, and the pickleball trophy is in my office.
Okay, okay. And I will not be taking it from you either, so we're okay. But the pickleball courts came, the funding came from the capital improvement budget and the park development fund. It's just been wonderful. Our court usage for the last year, we average every morning from Monday to Saturday, we average at least 40. So all the courts are busy all morning. Every evening from Monday to Saturday, there's anywhere from 15 to 25 every night. On Sundays, there's always people playing through the day. And even in the middle of the afternoon, you can go there and there's usually people playing. We have a singles group. A guy has organized a singles group that plays 1 or 2 nights a week. And there is probably 15 or 20 in that group that come, and you have to be single to even be a part of that group. It's a great group. One of the credit unions in town has a family fun night that they do 1 or 2 months a week, 1 or 2 days a month that bring in a lot of people. Some of our special events, we had a club picnic with about 150 people. The Quad City Times Plus 60 Club, we had a pickleball day for them, and we had 70 at that. The Davenport Morning Optimist had a group of 50 there for a picnic and pickleball. We had a clinic with Dave Weinbach, who was the #1 player in the country. We had 100+ people at that. And we have training for new people on a regular basis. We've had other things happen there. We've seen parents teaching young children to play tennis on the courts. So if you think of it, if you watch a parent trying to teach a 6 or 7-year-old to play tennis on a big court, it's basically hit the ball and run and go find it. Or if you put it on the pickleball courts, it's all enclosed, and it seems to be working really well. We've had a wheelchair group there playing pickleball. We have a badminton group that comes so many times a month. They actually puts up some nets to play badminton. And next year, we will be in the Quad City Visitor and Convention Guide as a special activity for the Quad Cities. Our U.S. Pickleball magazine, and the club that all of us belong to, is a national magazine, and we were featured last month in that magazine, and it was called Paddles Across the River. So pickleball is growing and doing well. The shade structures that the Park and Rec put in are wonderful. Lights would be a wonderful addition at some time. The Pickleball Club is purchasing or has purchased windscreens for the courts. They will be put up next spring to help with the wind from the north and the south. But it's just a great thing. Scott and Betsy from the park department have been great to work with, and we just love the sport. We're there all the time. So again, we're just here to say thank you. I don't know that you always find out how your events go and how your money is spent, but we have a great group of people that play. So Mayor and council and everybody, we thank you so much.
Our second presentation tonight, we've been doing, and I just want to mention why the aldermen have been out there, and Alderman Gordon is going to bring out the local business. I kind of had a little hip injury, so instead of me hobbling out there, I'm sending the reinforcements in to do the presentations. But I just want to mention we started about almost 2 years ago now. We're pushing on 2 years about recognizing local businesses who are truly the foundation of our community. And to that end, we have one of those presentations this evening. Mike Peppers and his father was raised in Boys Town in Nebraska due to the Depression. Mike was born in Des Moines, Iowa, then he moved to the west end of Davenport near Credit Island. He started school in a one-room country schoolhouse through third grade, and then he went on to St. Alphonsus, where he began his lifelong involvement with Davenport organizations, events, projects that support and better our community. He is also working at a variety of jobs at a very young age. He worked in his father's automotive garage, which opened in 1945. He was sent to Vietnam with Unit 776 and started his Santa career there, where he was Santa to the kids there in Vietnam. Later, he was wounded and sent to Japan to recover. When he returned in 1975, he opened Sergeant Pepper's Auto Shop at 323 East 3rd Street. He still owns and operates and continues to improve Sergeant Pepper's today and has employed over 100 people over the span of its existence. Mike Peppers was awarded the 2010 Pride Award in Las Vegas by the National Auto Body Council for his community service. Mike Peppers and the Peppers family have been providing auto service in Davenport for 72 years, with Mike's Sergeant Pepper's Auto Shop for 42 years. Mike joined the Davenport JCs, who received several awards for being the JC Santa. He was on the board of directors for the Downtown Davenport Association, as well as the task force for rebuilding Credit Island Lodge. Mike has been the Santa for too many parties, events, and special occasions to name, and he is involved with the Festival of Trees celebration. He is the Grand Marshal of that parade, and he is on the Bix Street Fest Committee, and he was honored by the Shriners Legion of Valor for his service in Vietnam. Mike has served 48 years as Santa, his main purpose to bring smiles and joy to special needs and handicapped children and all children, young and old. He is known for being Mr. Santa Claus and was appointed Special Deputy Santa by former Sheriff Dennis Conard. You know, local business is definitely the foundation of our community, but the wonderful citizens who operate those are truly the mainstay of our foundation of a very community. We want to bring up Mike and thank you for all the work and the continued work you do for our community. Mike, come on up. Yeah. Not only will he be receiving the award, but we'll show a picture of him in his full Santa regalia there. We have a couple pictures. Scott, Jason can hold that up and show that. We got and it's definitely a brick as the foundation of the community. So we'll have some pictures. I think Tom Geyer is going to take some pictures there.
Tommy here. Now we'll look at Tom Geyer here. Perfect. Thank you.
Great. Thank you very much.
Well, having a brick from Davenport is quite a thing. We've done a lot of rebuilding and a lot of rebuilding in the downtown, and I have been here to see my block in rubble, and I'm really proud to be part of the community, and I've worked with a lot of you, and trying to keep every brick in place as we put the lodge back together, put my building back together, put all the buildings back together. Building around the corner from me just had the roof collapse on it, and they put a couple $100,000 in rebuilding that building, and so I'm very proud of Davenport for them helping with everybody, keeping the streets and keeping the buildings going, and we keep rebuilding. And Frank, I know, has got a heart toward making sure that we keep on the same path. So I thank everyone. I thank everybody. I'm very honored to be awarded this, and I hope we have a good Christmas. We got the season started off, and I want to thank every one of you. God love you.
Thank you
Take
very
care.
much. Your dad would be really proud of this as well, so I know that from all the
My
time.
father would
Yeah.
be very proud. My father was. I don't think he mentioned the part about my father. I'm proud. My father was in Boys Town during the Depression. His mother could not feed him, and they put him in Boys Town. And him and his brother are the ones that you see. I'm trying to keep this together. When you see the two boys, and he says, "Father, he's not he's my brother. That is my father and his brother."
That's great. Thank you, Mike. That's
So,
great. Thank you very
so
much.
much.
Thanks, Mike. Okay, our next part of the agenda, we have any petitions and communication from myself and the council members. Alderman Rawson.
Thank you, Your Honor. Just wanted to give an update. We had our last neighborhood roundtable session last Saturday. We had a good group of people there, a lot of questions. Bruce Berger was there, as well as Matt Flynn. There were so many questions and discussion. We only actually got to Bruce Berger's topics, so Matt Flynn will be coming back next year. So the Neighborhood Leader Roundtable Committee will be meeting at some point before the end of the year to plan what's going to be happening next year for topics of discussion that are of interest to our neighborhood residents. If you have an interest in participating in that planning process, do feel free to contact me. We'd love to have you get involved. On a slightly unrelated note, I am having a ward meeting November 7th at 6 p.m. at Madison Elementary. And yes, that is the day we all vote. So don't forget to vote. And if you can't make it to the polls, you can vote early down at the auditor's office at the administration building on 4th Street. But the ward meeting is on voting day, the 7th, at Madison at 6, and everyone's invited to attend. Thank you.
Thank you, Alderman Rawson. Alderman Grip.
Thank you, Your Honor. I want to send out a reminder to the public that tomorrow is the Riverfront Design Standards Open House for Main Street Landing. That is from 4:30 to 6:30 at the Figge Museum downtown. There will be light refreshments served and a presentation at 5:30. We've got this great long-term vision that we call River Vision for the little piece of land on the riverfront in our downtown area. And before we start to implement that vision, we need to pick out things like light fixtures and bricks and colors and benches and trash cans. And we've got a couple of really cool designs of all of those things for folks to look at, evaluate, and choose from, so that when we start to implement this River Vision plan, that we have a really spectacular product on the riverfront. Hope to see you there.
Thank you, Alderman Grip. Alderman Ambrose.
Thank you, Honor. Yes, Saturday I attended the open house at Mother Goose Veguary Park, and it was incredible. I want to thank the park's employees that worked it. There's just tons of kids, and they're all in their costumes, and it was a lot of fun. And I want to remind the parks director about the sandbox. The kids would come in, and we have a huge play area that's a sandbox, and most of the kids don't even get by the sandbox. That's where they directly head for, and a couple loads of sand in that box will really enhance it for next year. But a lot of people are looking forward to what's coming next year, Scott. So they're expecting big things. They want gold painting back. We're counting on it. Thanks.
Great. Thank you, Alderman Ambrose. Alderman Dickman.
Just wanted to remind everyone to have a happy and safe Halloween. It's coming up before the next council meeting, so make sure that you are keeping an eye out for trick-or-treaters.
And also, I want to mention Saturday is our Halloween parade, starting at 1:30. At least that's when I'm supposed to be there. I think it starts officially at 2. But should be a great event. Looks like the weather's going to be good, so bring out the kids and all the family. It should be a really fun event. We have thank Tiffany Thorndike for all her hard work pulling this together, and all the staff for their support in making that happen. A couple other quick items. I was able to be at a couple of media events today. One at River Drive and Federal, the Harbor View buildings there. Just announced the groundbreaking. We had a groundbreaking for a new $32 million worth of investment that's going to be built there with market rate apartments. It's going to be a beautiful facility, offices. Isabel Bloom will be their major tenant in the part of that building, but it's going to be a really exciting, another addition to downtown Davenport. Also, wanted to recognize Lauren, one of our staff, Lauren Ergoner, who is basically the Government Finance Officers Association awards individuals who have done outstanding work. And for our 2018 budget presentation, Lauren, who is our budget and performance officer, received that distinguished award. So if you want to stand up a minute, Lauren, let's give her a nice big round of applause. Again, another great member of our staff team. So we have so many that we could, and we will, and we'll try to recognize somebody almost every week, the great things that are going on. Lastly is that I was also at another media event today down at John O'Donnell, our Modern Woodman Park. Boy, I'm aging myself there. Modern Woodman Park, where our River Bandits received the 2017, just ending that baseball season, Ballpark Improvement of the Year Award for the carousel, and also tied to that is the charitable team of the year. Now it's interesting. That's by Baseball Digest. This is one of the leading baseball magazines in the United States. Recognize them. The publisher of that organization was there to make the presentation. They're getting, basically, through the results of the rides, which were there all summer, $100,000 will go to, in partnership with Genesis, for flu shots, and also their Genesis camp for kids and families affected by cancer. In addition to that, the new carousel, which had a limited season, and some of the other smaller rides that were donated through a grant from the Bechtel Trust. That money's generated a profit of $53,000 already for this year, and that will be going through the charitable trust that was established to go to kids in need throughout the community as well. So that was some of the reasons, in addition to the scholarship program that they're presenting. So a lot of great things that are going on, and it's good to be recognized nationally by that work, because the gentleman told us there was a lot of people apply for those awards. And that the fact is that the River Bandits got the charitable award 2 of the last 3 years is pretty amazing, he says, with the hundreds that apply. So good news to a variety of great things going on here in our community. And with that, I don't see any other comments that we have. We're going to move on. There are 2 items on our discussion agenda this evening. One is a first consideration for ordinance case number ORD 17-01, amending Title 6.06 for the purpose of defining and establishing a 10-foot setback for chicken runs. Is there anyone from the public who wants to talk about that? Any comments? It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please. Any discussion, first of all? Anybody? Alderman? Seeing none. Roll call, please.
Dunn,
Yes.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Dickman,
Yes.
Grip,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Meeker,
Yes.
Rawson,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Tompkins.
Yes.
9 yeses, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. The Committee of the Whole recommends suspension of the rules and passage on the first consideration. Motion to suspend the rules. We have a second for that? Second. Roll call, please.
Ambrose,
Yes.
Dickman,
Yes.
Grip,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Meeker,
Yes.
Rawson,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Dunn.
Yes.
9 yeses, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Is there a motion for passage of second and third considerations?
So move.
Roll call, please.
Dickman,
Yes.
Grip,
Yes.
Gordon,
Yes.
Meeker,
Yes.
Rawson,
Yes.
McGinnis,
Yes.
Tompkins,
Yes.
Dunn,
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
9 yeses, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. You're probably sitting there and said, what in the heck did we just do? For some of you who may not come to these meetings regularly, The first, you notice it was about the chicken ordinance issue, and it was a clarification. Everyone was in favor. It was a good reason, but instead of normally we take 3 readings, which means 6 weeks, 3 weeks, or 6 weeks, I'm sorry, at the beginning. All committee of the whole, and then a council meeting. So in this case, we felt there was no really discussion. Everybody was on board. It was a clarification. Let's move that along and do all 3 of the readings tonight. So that's what we did. We have 1 more of those coming. First of all, the committee of the whole, let's do this, the committee of the whole recommends suspension of the rules and passage on first consideration. We've done that. Now we're on our second consideration this evening for ordinance amending Schedule 6 of Chapter 10.96 entitled Speed Limits by adding Gain Street from Locust to 5th Street as a 30-mile-an-hour street. Are there any public with comments related to that issue?
Move the consideration.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Grip,
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Meeker,
Yes.
Rawson.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Tompkins.
Yes.
Dunn.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Dickman.
Yes.
9 yeses, Your Honor.
Thank you. And this was, again, before just a moment, Alderman Ambrose, just as another one of those examples, this is something good we just want to get done. No one had any problems with this, lowering it from 35 down to 30. So again, the committee of the whole recommended suspension of the rules and passage of the second and third consideration. First, do we have a motion to suspend the rules?
Move to suspend.
It's been moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Gordon.
Yes.
Meeker.
Yes.
Rawson.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Tompkins.
Yes.
Dunn.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Dickman.
Yes.
Grip.
Yes.
9 yeses, Your Honor.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to go to third consideration. Roll call, please.
Meeker.
Yes.
Rawson.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes.
Tompkins.
Yes.
Dunn.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Dickman.
Yes.
Grip.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
9 yeses, Your Honor.
Thank you very much. Again, you'll see the next part is going to be, we're going to look for approval of our consent agenda. Last week, all the items on the agenda that you may received were discussed in detail, and public had opportunities to add information. The information that we may had questions on, we just dealt with, and had more discussion on them tonight, and there were no other additional discussion. So with that, I'd like to ask for approval of all items on the consent agenda.
Roll call.
Moved and seconded. Roll call, please.
Rawson.
Yes.
McGinnis.
Yes to all items except number 2 on community development, and I recuse myself from voting on that one.
Tompkins.
Yes.
Dunn.
Yes.
Ambrose.
Yes.
Dickman.
Yes.
Grip.
Yes.
Gordon.
Yes.
Meeker.
Yes.
9 yeses, Your Honor, except as noted on CD number 2.
Thank you very much. So that finishes all of that items on the list, and now we'll have there any public with business this evening. Please, your name and your address and/or your ward.
My name is Gary Sissage, and I'm in Ward 3, and I thank you, Mr. Mayor, City Council. First of all, I'd like to thank you on the proclamation for Out of the Cold. It's a worthy cause, because I know because for 3 years I was on the streets, and I thank you all for this. Another thing, there's the perception, I think, about the people who are in poverty or homeless, that they're out there. Well, me, I consider myself still one of them. That there's still people that think that we're looking for a handout. No, we're just looking for a chance, a second chance. A year or so ago, I helped a friend of mine who was out on the streets for over 10 years get put him away, and after 10 years, he's now in his own apartment. So that's worked well. I have a friend of mine who come to me tonight. She is she's visually impaired, but she asks for no handout. She just asks what is due. And for that, I hope we can get things done for her on that way. And a lot of things, because I write a lot of letters, a lot of emails to state representatives, state senators, U.S. representatives, U.S. senators about changes in policies, laws that can make it better for those who suffer in poverty, homelessness, whatever. Those who are they feel they're oppressed. I just want to see them get some help, get some relief. And I just want to thank everybody here and all those hidden tenants November 1st, go out and make the mayors serve a lot of soup. And I thank you. Peace out.
Thank you very much. Anyone else, anybody else from the public want to speak? Yes, sir.
My name is Andrew Thomas, and I reside in Ward 4. I'm here to speak on behalf of the Celtic Cultures Alliance of the Quad Cities. We are the ones who run the Celtic Festival and Highland Games of the Quad Cities every September down in Centennial Park. And we had a few concerns this year that we'd like to bring to your attention. There was another event that was granted a road closure on Gaines Street at the railroad tracks, which blocked the main entrance to the park, as it were. Their road closure was approved for Friday from 2 p.m. through Saturday at 2 p.m., whereas our event was running Friday 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. and Saturday 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. So that is a significant portion of the time, although they did not block it for the entirety of the time that they were allotted. That said, approximately 75% of the attendance for our event comes in through that entrance. And while I do understand that Marquette Street is also available, unfortunately there were road closed signs placed at the intersection of Marquette and Beiderbecke. They were placed, I would assume, in preparation for another event. And we're not blocking the road. However, it is a reasonable assumption upon encountering those that the road is closed. As a result of this, our attendance was down significantly this year, which we are a free admission event. We make our money from a combination of sponsorships and donations at the event and beverage sales at the event. Reduced attendance, of course, forced down both the donations and the beverage sales. The other concern that we have is that the rental price for the park increased by a factor of 5 for us this year. In previous years, for the same time period, we paid about $575. This year, the bill was $3,000. So the combination of lowered income plus increased expenses is painful for us. And I just wanted to bring that to your attention. I understand that under the rules you're not able to provide any answers about why at this time. But if I could, just for a moment, could everybody who came from the Celtic Festival stand up? Some of these people are from Davenport, some are from the surrounding communities. We even have one in here from north of Seattle, one of our regular volunteers. So just wanted to bring this to your attention and hope that the council can address this so we don't encounter this in future years.
I would suggest definitely our staff would be more than, who would you want to have potentially? To Jackie, first of all. Yeah, talk to our city clerk and we'll make sure we clarify those issues. Because again, thank you for this event. It's something I know has been traditionally here for a long time in the Quad Cities. So we want you back. So let's make sure we can work out that as best we possibly can. Okay. Thank you very much. Thank you. Are there anybody else from the public with comments? Seeing none, we do have one other report of city officials, and that's a civil service certification list. Will an alderman move the list? And it's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye. Aye. Any opposed, same sign. Thank you. Those lists are received and filed. Is there a motion to adjourn? Moved and seconded. All in favor to adjourn say aye. Aye. Meeting adjourned.
I was joking about that.
Nice.
Hey, if something happens, we may have to.
I can. No, that's easy.